The Baillieu government is showing every sign of delivering a tough first budget next month. That's causing anxiety for disabled Victorians who say their service system needs a massive boost in funds now more than ever. Australian of the Year Simon McKeon is pleading with the coalition not to ignore the sector. James Bennett reports.
Community services worker Liz Ellis depends on support staff to get to and from her job.
For a while, for a few months actually, since November, it's felt like my world has been collapsing around me because they had trouble filling shifts, so I had to change things that I wanted to do as well as my family did. So yes, it does mean that everything else hinges on what you can make work for a day.
But a shortage of carers, a result of funding shortfalls, mean that's far from guaranteed.
The big issue today, though, is that we've had the reform, but we haven't had the funding that we need.
Frankston?
In 2002, the Bracks Labor government moved Victoria's health system away from block funding, where organisations are given a chunk of money to provide the same service to a number of people. In its place came a system aimed at tailoring funding to individuals' needs, a move welcomed by the people it's designed to help. Except the money to run that system never came.
At the moment, that what's happening with any type of individualised planning is you pretty much write down whatever you like, and then you're told that you're unable to have it, the resource isn't there.
A report from consultants PwC, prepared in 2009, estimated that funding shortfall to be approximately $15 million a year. A recent Productivity Commission report backed the Victorian funding model and recommended a radical overhaul for disability funding across the country, a national no-fault disability insurance scheme worth $6.3 billion. Australian of the Year Simon McKeon, himself a multiple sclerosis sufferer, is a long-time disability services campaigner. He's worried that the prospect of national reform could provide a further excuse for inaction come budget time.
The system today is broke, underfunded, and we need a good funding plan in the short term, next year or two or whatever, to ensure that we don't see a system literally fragment before our eyes whilst we're having a discussion about an insurance scheme.
During last year's state election campaign, the Liberals and Nationals both stated their intention to address the issue. However, recent warnings from the new government, casting doubt over whether it can pay for computers in the soon-to-be-complete Royal Children's Hospital, among other things, aren't so promising.
It's an easy political out for the Baillieu government, isn't it, to say that the Labor government created this system and created a funding hole which we can't address?
Yeah, I'd like to think that governments can't just blame previous governments. That is a cop-out. Yep.
The successful investment banker and yachtsman argues that would undermine the contributions disabled people make.
It's not about focusing on disability, it's focusing on opportunity. I mean, every one of these people can make a valuable contribution to society. The ultimate end game, of course, is to create fulfilling lives for everybody, which ultimately then has a much lesser cost on our health industry and aged care and what have you.
We need to show people that this is the disability sector. There are lots of people around in it. They all have different needs, wants, aspirations and abilities. And some, like me, are very highly able intellectually, and they're made to feel like they can't be.
And we will put the spotlight on other pre-budget submissions in coming weeks.